plaintiff, Caitlin Fulkerson, dated the defendant, and she claims while pregnant with his child, he physically abused her and threatened her life. So she filed a restraining order against him. Caitlin's suing him for half the value of a trailer, the cost of a car, and unreturned property. Defendant Mackenzie Sellers says after he and Caitlin broke up, he was forced to call the police after she showed up to his home with guns drawn to get her property. Mackenzie denies owing Caitlin for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, so we met of January of 2020. Well, we started dating then, actually. I'm sorry.
All right.
And I got him pregnant at the end of February with our daughter. And eventually he started to become very jealous of my past. And
Past?
yes, like people I've slept with before him. So he had me create
People. How many did you all discuss?
everybody. Everyone. Yeah, he made me create a
Why?
list. He wanted to know everyone I'd been with before him.
I understand wanting to know the last one. I want to know what you've been doing, your last situation.
Yeah.
Or maybe the last year or two. But he wants you to go back to childhood, to adolescence. Huh?
Yeah.
You have a boyfriend in the third grade? What's his name?
No, sir. I did not.
Fourth? I'm like him.
Are you?
When? And I want names.
Okay.
He didn't ask you any specifics, really, did he?
Objection.
You did not?
No. So I asked specific things about things that she had told me.
Okay.
She had told me certain things, and then I started seeing things on social media that didn't add up with what she was saying to me.
Objection.
So in the process of what she was telling me and what I was seeing was completely different from what I had trusted in believing from her.
Got it.
It wasn't like it was 1, 2, or 3. There was a good handful.
It was a choir, a boys' choir.
Right. So there was a good handful of scenarios where I looked dumb about certain things that. But at the end of the day, that's not what we're here to talk about.
He didn't have a list.
No, unfortunately, that is very true, and I told her that, and she was well aware of that. The way we met was through my ex-girlfriend. I have another child with somebody else, and they used to be best friends. Yes, so there's a lot to this than just specifically what's in this lawsuit. And I'm trying to stay specifically from the time we broke up to us leading.
All right. Well, at least let her tell me about the what she feels was a big issue, and that is, ma'am, he said that you brought it up, your past relationships, and then he began to see contradictions based on the internet traffic or whatever.
Okay, so this is what had happened. So we would have conversations about people, right? And some of it would be people I've been with in the past.
Okay.
And I wouldn't, I'm not just going to come out and say.
How old are you?
I'm 20. And I'm not just going to blurt out to my new boyfriend, who we've only been with for like a week or two, oh, well, I slept with so-and-so in just the middle of a conversation, because I was just getting to know him. We just started dating.
You acted as if he was questioning you vehemently about who have you been with before? I want to know the number. He says that you're the one that brought up the subject initially.
No, but okay, so after the first situation, then he started that he demanded a list.
Who brought up the first situation? The people you dated in the past.
It wasn't someone I dated. It was just someone who I've been with sexually.
That's okay.
So it wasn't really like it wasn't really like.
Okay, so you brought up a one-nighter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to know some more. Oh, really?
Your Honor.
Okay, well, how many randoms? Yeah, you'd have to tell me a lot more. I'm with him now. You just can't tell me nothing like that and keep it moving. Yes.
Your Honor, the bias behind those conversations was she was talking to me about associates and people that I had hung out with, who at the time of my life prior, I used to sell weed. Obviously, it's legal where we are, so you know. But so she'd bring up these people and start talking to them, making it out to be like they were just friends and acquaintances. So when I asked specifically, because like he said,
Door was one of them.
like he said, like
I
he
was
said,
on that
I have
list.
no list. I have no list because honestly, there's been a lot. And I asked specifically, did you happen to sleep with them? Because there's a line. These aren't your friends if you slept with them. So when I asked specifically about a scenario that you're talking to me about, and I asked specifically about that person,
And you lie.
and you're lying to me about it, and then I found out otherwise.
Yeah, I got to know a lot more. Understand totally. What I will say is that that's a double standard that society puts on women, or at least Western civilization, where the man thinks he can go and do everything and be with all these people. But then when she says she's been with all these people, suddenly it's a problem.
No, I didn't have a problem with that. I had a problem with the fact of lying about it.
Okay. You acted as if he was questioning you vehemently about who have you been with before? I want to know that number. He says that you're the one that brought up the subject initially.
Defendant Mackenzie Sellers is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims while she was pregnant with Mackenzie's child, he physically abused her and threatened her life.
So what else you want to tell me? He was kind of getting to how you all broke up. So
Yes.
you all got together January 20th. When did you break up?
Okay, April 25th.
Why? Why did you break up?
Well, throughout my pregnancy, he'd started to become abusive, and what started with shoving and pushing ended with choking, trying to suffocate me in my bed,
Did you file charges?
smacking. I have a protection order.
Okay. All right, and you all broke up then?
On April 25th, I found the courage to leave him after I've been scared.
Objection.
What do you object to, sir?
So I can't specifically speak on anything that
What,
has to
pending
do.
charges?
Yes, I have a pending criminal case, and I have
Okay.
a pending
We
child
won't talk
protective
about it
order
then.
case. We broke up over a disagreement about money.
Okay. Well, let's discuss the money portion,
Okay.
all right?
His mother had given us both a trailer while I was pregnant. Our names are listed on there. I'm the primary owner. He's additional. I had no choice
She
but
gave
to
it to
leave.
you then as the primary owner.
Objection. There's evidence right here saying otherwise on page 3. It is a handwritten statement from the owner.
Did you all ever get a title, a deed that
I have the
Yes.
lease and the
proves
title.
ownership?
We did.
What does the deed say?
It's a
You
trailer
have it?
through a trailer. I have the lease
So-
and title.
Direct me to that.
Okay. The lease for the trailer is page 22.
What page is the deed on?
And 23 is the title.
These type of properties, real estate, they don't transfer by notes. There
Yes.
are deeds and there are titles. And this
Her name is on
owner's
it
name
first.
is Caitlin Seller. So, additional owner. She was right, sir. You're listed as an additional owner.
Can I explain that?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, so when we had gotten the paperwork from my mother specifically, I was doing something and my mom was there, okay? My mom was there. We had told her to sign on it. So there was a first and a last place. It wasn't like she's full owner or I'm full owner. It was given to both of us specifically for my daughters to have a place to go, place to stay. Realize my mother and I do not have the best of relationship, and even with this relationship that I just went through, deteriorated our relationship even more because of what she was saying to my not just my mother, my family, adopted family who had fostered me for approximately 10 years. This home was specifically given to us so my daughters had a place to come visit with their father. So they had a safe environment for me to be at and for them to be at.
I'm going to go with the law, and you are the secondary additional owner, which I would interpret as if something were to happen to her, then it becomes yours in its entirety. So let's get to what happened with these things. You received the trailer. He was an additional owner listed. Yes. So what are you suing about? What happened? The cost of a car, unreturned property. Continue.
So I had no choice but to leave. Actually, I'd ran away with my daughter because he had threatened me after an argument.
Got that.
So I had no choice but to leave that home. Because
All right, and so you want you
just half the
enough
cost.
is just one half.
Yeah.
And the car, what happened there?
Okay, so I purchased that vehicle around March or so, and actually he went out and bought the car, but with my money. I'm also the primary owner of the vehicle. There had been an agreement between him and I after I left him that he would keep the trailer and I would get my vehicle, my TV, and my laptop back. That's the other three things.
He would keep the trailer?
Yeah, that he would keep the trailer and I would take my vehicle, my
And what
laptop,
happened
and
to
TV.
that agreement?
Well, I'd went to court over the protection order and he tried to make an agreement then, and then I was going to do it and everything, and then he just breached it. He didn't want to do it that way.
Changed
Objection.
his mind about making the agreement?
Objection.
Yes.
Yes, what do you say?
Objection. Okay, so she showed up to my house with firearms drawn at me the day after that that we had this verbal agreement, and I've been willing.
And she said cancel the agreement or else?
No, so somebody pulled up in front of my
Cancel!
Somebody pulled up in front of my driveway, and I was not aware she was coming over this day.
Let's get back to the agreement.
Right.
Remember, you didn't want to talk about the violence. Like you're talking about violence, now I have to let her.
No, I'm talking-
sorry.
I'm talking
you
about the-
mentioned the guns
I'm
being
talking about
pulled
the
on you by her, or she did something violent towards you.
No.
So have your way. Tell me exactly all the violence that he came to you with.
He choked me, and he had threatened to kill me, and he had held my mouth shut on my own bed. I'm sorry.
Give her some tissue. Okay.
That is basically
Thank
what
you.
happened that day when she came with the.
Let her finish, sir.
I'm so sorry.
Take your time.
He's done a lot. But the day he's talking about, there was no guns drawn at him. I went with my friend's parents to go get some of my things for my daughter, because I left with almost nothing. I left with $8 to my name. And they have a permit to carry. They had it on their hip, like normal. And I called the police. The police were already on their way, and the police were there the whole time. And I was
Objection.
getting some things out of the trailer. I won't go there without the police. Well, I wouldn't before I got my things.
Okay, so what happened to the agreement? Let's get back to that. Because
So
with
we
all the fighting, I haven't heard, we changed the agreement.
Okay, so we went to court for the protection order. And afterwards, I'd asked the police officer, I said, could I possibly do this agreement thing with him? He said yes. So he had
Right.
told Mackenzie, she's willing to accept handing over the title right now to the trailer. She's got it with her. And Mackenzie, I was talking about getting my TV, my laptop, because I still pay on those things, and my car. And he was like, oh, no, you got to go to my lawyer, and we have to do this, and I want to keep the TV now, and this and that. And I was like, okay, well, forget it.
Okay.
It's fine, we'll go to court.
Is that what happened?
No, sir. Okay, so the day that the firearms were drawn on me, they then called the police after drawing firearms on me.
Objection.
And I was more than willing. To give her all of her property.
Why did you break up?
Well, throughout my pregnancy, he'd started to become abusive, and what started with shoving and pushing ended with choking, trying to suffocate me in my bed,
Did you file charges?
smacking.
Defendant Mackenzie Sellers is being sued by his ex-girlfriend, who claims while she was pregnant with Mackenzie's child, he physically abused her and threatened her life.
Was that after the restraining order court date?
No. Everything that happened from the 25th to 28th was before the restraining order. When she came the next time over, that we had agreed that the next time she came over, she was going to commit to her after the agreement. I was going to commit. That day, they brought firearms instead, and I asked her, "Hey, where's the title? So I could give you the title." She just shakes her head and says no. Okay. So then,
Objection.
after she gets all of her property and in the process steals my clothing as well.
Objection.
Talks to the police officer. The police officer then tells her, "You need to file a civil suit, ma'am." And I was willing to give everything.
Objection.
The next day, I find out she's talking to somebody who used to stay in my home approximately 3-4 days out of the week, which I felt very disrespectful. And eventually, come to find out, they were sleeping together at that
Objection.
point. He admitted to it. on his own doing, and she was sitting next to him while we had a protective order. The reason why this protective order, sorry, my mind's all over the place. So she didn't commit to her half of the agreement. The officer told her she needs to file a civil suit.
What did she say to indicate she wasn't committing to her part of the agreement?
That she wasn't giving me the title.
She said that?
Objection.
Yeah, and that was the only thing that I basically wanted, the title to the trailer and the TV.
Who has the car?
I do.
Who has the trailer?
I do.
Okay, you have everything.
Right, and
What does she have? Nothing?
The baby.
What are you asking for then? Half of each?
Yeah.
Half of each?
No, I want the full amount of the car and I want half of the trailer.
All right, why do you feel you're entitled to the full amount of the car?
Because I paid for it.
And he says he paid some. Did you pay anything on the car?
I did. I got taxes and my stuff.
See, he
Objection.
paid some too. I'm not going to go through all this. Playhouse, this is what happens. Half for the trailer is yours. Your judgment is $2,675. That's what happens when you go to court after choking your woman. $2,675 is your judgment, half of everything. That's what happens when you play house. You pay half. Who cares who paid for it? Have a good day. That's my judgment.
She's lying, but
Definitely.
that's the whole reason. The whole reason why we are here is because she filed a restraining order instead of committing to her half of the agreement. That
No.
was the whole thing.
Plaintiff Tyshawn Mims had a sexual relationship with the defendant back in 2002. And after they stopped seeing each other, she claimed she was pregnant with his baby. However, a month ago, he learned there was another man who may be the father, so he petitioned the court for a paternity test. Defendant Demetria Gray admits there was another man in question, but she claims a DNA test already proved that he wasn't the father, so she knows Tyshawn must be.
We're here, Mr. Mims, to confirm whether you're the father of Miss Gray's daughter?
Yes, sir.
All right, start with you.
I petitioned the court, Your Honor, because back in 2002 of July, I met Demetria Gray. We ended up, getting into a sexual relationship there for like a month. Okay. And at that month, we cut everything off. So once we cut everything off there, she called my ex-wife now. She called her phone. It was like, can I speak to my baby father, Ty? So she was like, baby father. So I was like, baby father. So I asked her, I said, is you pregnant? She was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. So she told me that the due date was April the 3rd. Okay. So it was 2002. Next thing I know, I got incarcerated. I went to prison. I did 8.5 years. And then come to find out, when I came home, Zanea's birthday is on June 6th.
Hold on, not April.
No, June 6th.
Okay. And so what has happened since that time?
So then when I came home, I was like, I got to reach out to Demetria for Zanea. I got her the same day I came home. When I was incarcerated, they gave me $100. So I did go, I bought Zanea something with the $100. You know what I mean? I found me a job. I started working and I did the best that I can do, as far as being a father in a life. Come to find out, I was told that it was another guy in question.
Okay, hold on. Let her give some background, then we'll catch up with you right where you're at. Let me hear from you, ma'am. Give some background on you all meeting and dating.
Okay, yes. Well, first of all, yeah, we met and then we did date for about 4 months. That's what he left out. And yes, I did tell him that there was another guy in question. And yes, I did test another guy. It was my ex-boyfriend.
When did you tell him there was another? When did you tell him there was another guy in question?
Soon when I found out that I was pregnant.
In 02? Okay. And what did he say?
At first he was excited and then he got skeptical.
When you told him it was another guy involved?
Yes, I did.
Tell me what it's been like since he came home.
He did not buy her anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps saying he bought her something, but it's not true.
Okay. Have they had a
Not
relationship?
buy her nothing. He did take her to North Carolina with him for 2 weeks.
When was that?
Like in 2017 or 2018. in June, the end of June.
She called my ex-wife now. She called her phone. It was like, can I speak to my baby father, Ty? So she was like, baby father. So I was like, baby father. So I asked her, I said, is you pregnant? She was like, yeah, I'm pregnant.
Plaintiff Tyshawn Mims has doubts about fathering the defendant's 17-year-old daughter. So he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
You all live in the same state?
Yes.
All right. Has he been able to see her much over the years?
A few times, yes, he has.
Just a few times?
Yes.
How far do you all live?
Not as much as he should, but yes.
You all live in the same city?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And you're saying he hasn't met his financial obligations either?
Not at all.
All right. So what do you want to tell me about since you came home? How did things go then?
I came home. I reached out to Demetrius. Now, may I reiterate something, please? When I was incarcerated, I called Demetria because she said that the baby was born, okay? I called Demetria. When I found out that the baby was born, I said, I called her from a three-way call. I found her phone number because I didn't get in contact with her. I got her phone number. I called her and said, hey, listen, I'm incarcerated. I'm being here for a while. Is there any possible way that you can send me pictures? I want your address so I can write. I want to, have a bond, even though I'm in a bad situation here. You know what I mean? I wrote her a letter. She not one time responded back to me. My family, I reached out to them. They got Zanea. They made sure Zanea was okay. She was at my mother's house, my sister's house. They was doing her hair. They was getting her things. When I came home, I bought Zanea some sneakers. I bought her some clothes. I bought her birthday gifts. My fiance right now, on Valentine's Day, I bought her some things for Valentine's Day for her and my other daughter. I took her some stuff. You know what I mean? When I went to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, I made sure she came down to visit me. Anytime I try to reach out to Zanea, it's hard because she's like, I have something to do. I have to do this. I have to do that. I want to spend time with you. I have messages, everything. I've been trying to reach out to her because I want a relationship with her. If you are my daughter, I want to love you and embrace you. When I came home, I had child support for my other child. It's paid in full, Judge Mathis, paid in full. If she's my daughter, I want to love her. I want to give her the world.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 17.
Okay, who requested the hearing or the DNA?
I did.
Why?
Judge Mathis, there's been so much going on here. I went to the bar. Me and my fiance went to the bar. Her friend, was like, hey, I looked at your Facebook page. I see my cousin Zanea in a picture with you. She was like, who is she to you? She was like, well, that's Tyshawn's daughter. She was like, that's his daughter? I thought somebody else was the father. I just want to make sure that this is my child because she deserved to know and I deserve to know. And I want to be able her to reap the benefits of her father, and I want to be able to love her, the way a father's supposed to love his child.
Now, let me ask you, ma'am, did you ever tell your daughter that there was another man, that there was some uncertainty?
Yes, I did. Yes, she knows everything.
What has been happening since the time you told her, I'm not certain who your father is between these two men? Has she pressured you to find out? Or did she just say, well, since Mr. Mims his family has embraced me, did his family help while he was away?
His mom, yes.
Okay, fine. So the daughter could have said, I know Mr. Mims is my dad because his family is my family. His family helps take care of me. So is that what it was?
I love his family. Yes. Okay. They actually did. Yes.
Okay. So you think they just took care of her? You think they would have done it without him being involved?
They already said if he's not the father, they still love her. And they want.
No, I'm saying in the beginning. I'm saying in the beginning.
In the beginning?
Yes.
Yes.
They would have.
Yes.
I don't
he
believe
was,
that.
3 months when his mother first came
But unless you said, I believe this is your son's daughter, I don't believe they would have taken care of her. Why would they? Why would they? If there's a mother, why would she just walk up to strangers and say, take care of my baby, and they do it? My point is, they did it because of him. So he did take care of this baby by way of his family. Just want you to understand that.
Plaintiff Tyshawn Mims has doubts about fathering the defendant's 17-year-old daughter, so he petitioned the court for a paternity test.
Tell me about these questions that he has, because you've said it was between the two men. When did you get the test for the other man? When was that performed?
She was born. She was a baby. So
Okay.
She was like about 4 months. when
Okay,
she
so
got the test.
as there's 4 months, there was no reason to think it was another possibility unless there was a third man.
There was no third man.
You told me you discussed it with her as 5 years old with your daughter.
Yeah.
So that's contradictory, ma'am. But he hopes and I hope that it's his daughter as well. Now, what is the last reason you have to suspect? Because I can see how she could confuse you.
Right. With the cousin at the bar, saying that she thought somebody else was the father. She didn't know nothing about me. Another thing is when, she told me, hey, I had a paternity test, for Zidane with another guy. I never knew there was another guy in question.
Got it. When did she tell you that?
I be honest with you, Judge Mathis, I just found this out recently, like about a month ago.
True.
When did you tell him there was another guy in question? That you
I've
had
been told
another
him
person
years
take
ago.
a paternity test, did you? Okay.
I told him years ago. Because in 2019, we were supposed to
If she's mine,
get
I'm
a
willing to
paternity
be there
test. He never showed up
wholeheartedly.
for.
Okay.
And I told him then.
Okay, and it was between him and the other
It's not the
guy.
first time we supposed to have a DNA test because he won't show up at court in Buffalo.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You can't wait the first time.
No. Court was there in Buffalo. Judge Mathis, can I say something, please?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how I feel as a father and as a man. My mother, my daughter, Zanea, I'm going to say my daughter because she knows me as her father, was at my mother's house. My mother had a dog, that she had that gave a litter. My mother, Zanea was like, "Oh, I want a puppy. I want a puppy." She gave Zanea a puppy, said, "This is a puppy for you." She called Demetrius, said, "Hey, can she have this puppy?" She said, "Yes." She gave her the puppy.
That is true.
She sold it.
That is true.
Oh. Who sold the puppy? You sold
Demetrius.
the puppy?
I did not sell it. I had to, it ran away, actually.
You're right.
I didn't sell nothing. What I'm going to sell it for?
Okay.
If it's her puppy, why would I sell it?
Yeah, I don't believe she would sell her daughter's puppy. Okay.
But I still said, this is my daughter. I still love her. You know what I mean? Even after today. If she's not mine,
you see what he's saying? I don't see you seem to be mad with him. And he is a man who is really, really desperate to confirm and wants to.
He says it's off and on. He says it off and on. 1 minute is his child, next minute is not.
Well,
that's what I've been going through for the past 18 years.
I never denied her. I said it's a possibility.
That's not true. You want to speak to Zanea? She's here.
She's my child.
all right. We don't
my child.
No, we don't want her on. We don't want her on.
Okay.
And because you're mad at the wrong person. Sorry, my man.
I'm not mad at all.
Sorry, my man.
Because he's definitely a good guy.
You had more than two people. You had more than two people, ma'am. He's not the father. Have a good day. Playing games with this man.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Dang. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I'm not the father. That's crazy. Because she told me the whole time that I was the father, but I'm not the father. I'm not the father. That's not my daughter. Wow.
Okay, fine. And I'm glad.
Plaintiff Demetria Gray says after her recent appearance on Judge Mathis, she reached out to her son's father, the defendant, to confide in him that she didn't know who her daughter's father was. And that's when he reminded her that he may be the child's father. So she petitioned the court for another paternity test. Defendant Demetrius Hughley admits that around the time Demetria got pregnant with her daughter, they had sex one night while he was visiting his son, and he very well could be her child's father.
Ma'am, do I know you? Ma'am, do I
Yes.
know you from where?
Yes, you do. Yes, from 3 weeks ago
Where did we meet?
on the show. I brought Tyshawn Mims.
You were a
for DNA
litigant?
test. He brought me on the show for a DNA test
Why are you back?
because it
Another
turned
DNA
out that he
test.
wasn't the father.
So the first one, it was negative.
Yes.
And now you're bringing another person in.
Yes.
More of Judge Mathis when we return. Defendant Demetrius Hughley believes he may be the biological father of the plaintiff's 18-year-old daughter, even though the plaintiff just had another man tested on Judge Mathis 3 weeks ago.
All right. You mind if I have a little fun with you without you being...
It's fine.
Oh,
I like when you have fun.
Okay. All right, let me get rid of this case real quick before you change your mind and look over here. Nothing, you didn't change your mind. You changed your mind too much. 1 minute is the other man, next minute is him, next minute is gonna be you. Or me. Don't, let me hurry up with this. All right. Did you know her or did you pull you off the street? Did you know her, sir?
She's also my oldest son's mother.
Okay, so you have you do know each other and you have a child together. All
Yes,
right.
we have a 19-year-old.
All right, now it's making better sense. Now you all right with me. I thought you just out here. Hey!
At the 7-Eleven.
Let's go. You look like it.
Get in the car.
Get in the car. We headed to Chicago. All right, thank God you didn't just come off the street. This is someone you share a child with already. God bless you. And you're here to determine whether you all share a second child. That's why we're here. Looking for, all right, what might be good news. All right, so you're a good news mother. There it is. I thought you was a bad news mother running around town pulling people in off the street. Hold on, weren't you the one in the middle of the case? I just remembering now, at the end of the case, yeah, because I got upset with you.
Yeah, you did.
Why did you disclose that to your daughter like that, in that way?
She was already in there with me, but she just wasn't.
Yeah, that would have hurt me, but nonetheless.
I agree.
Yeah, I guess you were emotional at that time, so I give you a pass. All right, and I appreciate you agreeing, and so you're good people with me. You're good in my book. Tell me about your relationship with Mr. Demetrius. Tell me about how long did you all date and from what years, and tell me how that went.
It was about 3 years, I want to say.
How long ago? What years?
This in 2002.
2001.
2001, 02, and till 3 or 4?
Pretty much old. It was pretty much old.
Oh, he trying to get out of it already. All right, go ahead. Tell me how was the relationship?
Okay, so what happened was the first case 3 weeks ago, I found out Tyshawn Mims was my baby father. So then what happened was I called him, I apologized to him and his family, and they agreed to still be in their life.
Good.
And then after the case, I called my son's father right here, Demetrius, to tell him what happened, because we still friends. So I told him, and then when I told him, and then that's when he told me that me and him had sex back when he came to visit my son.
He had to tell you that?
Yes, I totally forgot. That was 18 years ago.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that she couldn't remember you just 18 years ago.
She was a wild girl that used to drink all the time. She's a wild girl.
All right. Go ahead. And you still don't want to tell me anything. How did you not remember? 18 years ago, I was on television then, and I have a bad memory.
I
can remember most of the things emotional that occurred to me 18 years ago.
Yes, I was drunk at the time.
Okay. All right.
Honestly. I was drunk, just coming in from partying. I'm sure. And I don't remember anything after that.
All right. Well, call the prosecutor.
Was she under 7?
He is under arrest. You can't have sex with a woman that's incapacitated.
Oh.
That's sexual assault now. You were too drunk to have to give consent.
Oh, no, I probably
you were
was
too
down.
drunk
I'm
to
sure I
give
was
consent.
down for it.
Pardon me?
I'm sure I probably was down for it because as my son's father, we had just had a baby together. My son was
Say
8
you don't
months at the
remember.
time.
You too drunk to remember. You too drunk to know it happened. No, call the prosecutor.
But she always was down.
Oh, sir, now you want to talk. You ain't had nothing to say a minute ago to that prosecutor.
I was letting her
to that
talk.
prosecutor on the way. Now, yeah, I'm just kidding with you guys. But I'm just making the point, young people, that's the law now. If a woman is too drunk to give consent, it's sexual assault. So you young men and women, be very careful out here when you're getting drunk, having sex. So just educating some folks here that you must have consent. And you say you gave him consent because you knew how it was because you had already had one baby with him.
Yes, exactly.
Defendant Demetrius Hughley believes he may be the biological father of the plaintiff's 18-year-old daughter, even though the plaintiff just had another man tested on Judge Mathis 3 weeks ago.
All right, you give me some testimony, sir, and then we're going to get to whether you believe it's your child. But go ahead, give me some testimony. She doesn't want to tell me anything about the relationship other than that. Anything you might want to share?
Well, I met her back in 2001. We was together for like an actual relationship. Well, I'll say for about 4 or 5 months. I go to jail for a situation courtesy of her. And then I come back out and then, I get her pregnant with my son. As soon as I got her pregnant with our son, it was just like, I was a little whorish and she just went nuts to a point that like the whole relationship, why our son was still sitting in her, she was just like, she was superwoman and super toxic. I was toxic too. I can't fault her too much, but
what
she
were
was
you
crazy.
doing wrong? What was your issue? What were you toxic? What was your issue?
My issues was, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I was a whore back then. You couldn't believe nothing that came out my mouth for 2 seconds.
I like you.
If you was a woman, you couldn't believe anything I said.
Good man. You're a good man now. To be
And
able
unfortunately, I did.
No, I was a
believe
scumbag back
everything.
then. I ain't gonna lie to you, sir. I was a scumbag back then. Half of her attitudes was justified, but a lot of it wasn't.
What do you think it came from? What do you think her attitude change came from?
Well, judging how our son looked, I must have been a person that she hated the most because he looked just like. But I just didn't do too. I tried to stay in a relationship, but nah.
How long after the baby was delivered did you all stop dating?
Oh, I was in jail when the baby. I was in jail from the previous situation that happened right before we conceived them.
And then you violated probation and went back. Is that
Nah, I was waiting. I was waiting to get indicted in New York.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? And then after, I capped out, plead, whatever, and then I went to jail. I went to jail like January. She had him in April.
When you came home, what happened?
Well, when I came home, she baby mama to me. She had a lot of things going. She got some things going on. She baby mama, so I just came home from doing 8 months. I'm seeing my son, and she wanted to go drinking through her, so I'm chilling with my son. So of course, I hadn't had nothing in over almost a year. And you baby mama, hey, she was with it. I didn't know that she was so infatuated with Tyshawn.
Any final comments before we can make a conclusion on the paternity? No. Anything from you?
Tune in tomorrow when Judge Mathis will reveal the results of today's paternity test.
So, ma'am, were you dealing with him and Demetrius and Tyshawn at the same time?
Yes.
Same time frame. Okay, at least you honest. You know, you are two honest people, and I appreciate that. I don't always get that. I get big liars in here all the time.